Welcome.
All right, well,
What's up?
welcome to Plugged In, where we are plugged into all things sports, culture, and lifestyle, and this is our outlet. I am your host, Sierra,
I'm Cam B.
and here we are on this beautiful Sunday, podding on a day we've never podded on before.
Not for real.
But we both were in the Ville, back
We were.
home. Didn't see each other, but we were there.
Had to be. Mom's birthday this year. Well, this every year, but this weekend. So
There you go.
had to celebrate.
Happy early birthday, Aunt D. We love you. And then I was down there because of the SEC tournament, which we'll talk about later. The women's SEC tournament.
Great games.
Shout out to my Gamecocks, you know what I mean?
Great games.
Yeah, so we'll discuss that later. But it was good to be home. I hadn't been back to Greenville in a minute. You go a lot more often than me.
I do. Actually,
And-
crazy thing about it, I haven't been back to. This was my first time in like 3 months. I think last time I went was Christmas.
Oh,
So
dang.
maybe it was 2 months.
Yeah. I honestly cannot remember the last time I went back.
You know,
That's
what's,
bad.
you know
I
what's
gotta be
crazy
better.
is like when I go home, it's like mom be expecting me to stay like for a whole week. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
I got
that's-
life to live.
That's mama's, yeah. My mama too.
Get there, she was like, every time I ask you if you could come home, you busy, you always got something going on. I'm like, mama, I'm an adult.
Right.
I'm trying to live my dreams and passions.
Yeah.
Chef now.
That
Content
too.
creator.
That too. Hey man, y'all follow my boy on TikTok and Instagram. The recipes going up. Y'all see the cooking content. He
Doing a
going
little
crazy.
something.
Plug
Doing a
in with
little
my boy in the kitchen.
Hey, I appreciate you, like, cause I wouldn't have thought to like actually repost me on the actual page.
Hello.
That's love. That's
Come
love.
on.
We're
I'm
plugging
here
in.
for you, my brother.
Not just plugging into culture, we're plugging into food too. Gotta eat.
All things. All things.
Man, speaking of though, man, it's time for the plug.
Plug.
Where we tap into the latest and greatest within the Queen City, but we are kind of broadening our horizon, talking about some things that's going around the country, man. There's so much going on. So, man, let's go ahead and start with the first thing. It's Women's Month.
Yeah.
Power to y'all. We love you all. Hey, mama, love you. Mama Martise.
Mama, you know I love you.
You know I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go there.
There you go.
But, but man, happy Women's Month. It's a start. So hopefully we can have some really good conversations about things that's going on within our community for our women and also our black women, because you're my black brother. No, that's brother.
Oh.
Women. Yeah. All right, we're gonna transition. This week we got the ACC tournament coming up. Is it this week or next week?
It's this upcoming week. It'll be at Spectrum Center.
Yep.
So ACC men's tournament, which the ACC, just being honest, has not been that competitive this year. But looking forward to
Them Tigers.
some good competition. Yeah,
Oh,
Tigers
my
might be all
goodness.
right. They might be all
Hey,
right. They got to go
hey.
through Duke.
This is the year. We beat Duke this year.
I know, but I'm
we
saying
beat them at home.
you got to go through it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to mention we're playing in Charlotte. That's damn near a home game for Duke. So
Well, I mean, Clemson not
Clemson
too
not
far
too
either.
far either. So
Y'all got to pull up, show out.
and it's a lot of Tigers up here in Charlotte. So we're gonna have to do our thing.
Yeah.
Come on out there. Let's get them boys.
I got to
some
check the
support.
tickets out. I got to go see my boy in action. I got a kid I train in place for Miami.
You do?
Yeah, so I need to see. I hadn't been able to watch
Shout
him
him out. Shout
on
him out.
My boy Austin Swartz. You already know. I just reposted him on my Instagram. Matter of fact, had a nice
Respect.
little dunk. They got a win last night against NC State. They've had a tough year because their coach retired in the middle of the year, just resigned or whatever. But they just actually named the assistant coach for Duke, Jay Lucas, as the new head coach for
Really?
Miami. So
That's what's up.
looking forward to seeing what they do in the future because. My boy been doing his thing this year as a freshman, playing a lot of minutes, starting, doing his thing.
Think he'll transfer, or do you think he'll stay?
TBD.
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 Hey, we ain't talking too much on this.
There we go.
Disclose information.
There you go.
But yeah, man, pull up, pop out, plug in to the ACC tourney this week
Yeah.
in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center.
And then for any other things that you guys want to know about coming up this month or in these first couple weeks of the month, check out our story on Instagram. We're going to repost it again to stay current on all the things going on in the city because there's a lot going on in the month of March, actually.
A whole lot, too much, actually.
Yeah. So plug in there.
Man, we missed this past week. We missed like they had two R and Brews things going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
They had one at Lottie's down uptown. Then they had another one in South End at Indigo Charlotte.
Yeah, I love some R&B.
So I saw a little bit of some videos from it on Instagram. Man, it looked like it was a really good turnout. So
I'll have to pull up next time.
yeah, I told you about the coffee I had from Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a free muffin.
Oh, that's good.
That was the highlight. So we're gonna keep it there. But man, real quick, man, we ain't gonna stay too long on this, man. How do you feel? So last week we talked about DEI. It was, I had the viewpoint of DEI, we're not gonna get into that again. I've been arguing all week for
Sure.
myself. But they had a blackout. But now for Lent, and I guess some Ramadan, we want to respect all religions here. Some people are doing a 40-day fast from
I heard
Target.
about that. Yeah, and Amazon and all that stuff too. Yeah, I heard about that.
So how you feel about that?
Cool. I mean, I haven't really been trying to buy too much these days anyway.
Not
so,
facts.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think, obviously it did do something the other week when they did the blackout because they reported, I don't know how true this is, but they did report that Target lost a ton of money in that day. So we'll see how it goes for the next 40 days or whatever.
And I also saw there was like traffic down like a couple million like on their websites and different things like that.
Yeah.
So there was an effect. But this 40-day, I think that's something I could get behind. Like if it's something that we're really pushing for.
Right.
So
yeah.
Dang, I wish I would have got some more like sweatshirt. Like I need some sweatsuits from like Target. Those are like
they
my
got some good stuff in there.
Yeah, they got some really good stuff. So
gotta wait 40 days, my boy.
Yeah. Or it might be a situation where I might find some like black owned like apparel that like actually make really good like sweatsuits and stuff like that. So.
Hey, if y'all know of a black apparel place that makes quality clothing, sweatsuits in particular, let us know. Plug it in the comments.
You know what's crazy is that like my girl asked me the other day, she said, yo, are y'all gonna start making like clothing and apparel for like Plugged In? I said, yeah. She was like, yeah, I wanna like help y'all do that. So
bet. Okay.
So if you know any
Remember she said she wanted to help.
She did. Hey, I know you listening.
You're right.
We're
gonna reconvene on that.
Yeah, facts. So real quick, man, I know we're living in this world where things are different now that President Trump is here. I know nothing too crazy. I know I can go deep into like politics,
right?
And that's not your forte. No. But I want to ask you this question. China has come back since Trump has come in and saying we're doing all these tariffs for Canada, Mexico, and China specifically, just to like highlight those three. China has came back out and said, "Hey, we're with the shits."
Right? They ready. Yeah, they sitting on go.
Yeah, they said trade war, food war, real war, China in 5. Like that's pretty much what they're saying.
Whatever you want, I got it.
Yeah, we got it. So I think that we've gotten to a point now where it's like, all right, like y'all, this is not like essentially what they said because I think they tweeted it. Mm-hmm. They said this is not like Cold War, like this is not the Soviet Union type like thing. Like we are really trained to go.
Right.
Like we've been listening to a lot of Waka Flocka.
Yeah, if I was Trump, I'd be like, hey, you know what? Let me chill a little bit. Let me chill a little bit. But knowing him, because he's so egotistical, he not on that. But he need to dial it back for sure.
Just a little bit.
Just because we don't want them problems.
Yeah, and there's another thing. Now it's starting to hit home for me because like, not only is he trying to cut back for tariffs in like other countries, he's been doing a lot of cuts within our government as far as like IRS. But now he's starting to hit veteran like VA.
Yeah, veteran affairs. Yeah.
Veteran affairs, and that I think. There's like about 80, or I think it was either 8,000 or 80,000. That's a large number, but whether they're still cutting back on employees within those within veteran affairs. And I will say, as a man that served my country for 5 years, that actually benefits greatly from the military and also from the government.
Yeah.
For like going to school, for like them paying for my school, also paying for my disabilities, and also helping me get like different certifications. You don't understand how many different veterans like depend on these benefits to be able to live.
Yep.
And not just me. Thank God, like my mind is still here. I'm still present. There's a lot of people that literally cannot like function or even like live without those benefits.
Exactly.
So
it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, my dad's a veteran too, which
exactly.
So I actually wanted to talk to him about that, see how he felt about that, but it's tough, man.
It is.
It's tough, and I hate that because, like you said, there's so many veterans that have different circumstances that rely on these things on a day-to-day basis that you cut out something like this and you just don't understand because he's up here, right?
Right.
So he's only thinking about, I'm trying to save money for the country or whatever. But like these things are in place for a reason. These people are needed for a reason, and
exactly.
It's just unfortunate that there's not enough conversation with him to give him a better understanding of what it's supposed to be, or if it is, he's just being ignorant and just not listening. But
I'm a big fan. Like we want to cut, as you would say, trim the fat so that the food is quality. Like the budget, the funding is going to like it's quality over quantity.
Right.
But you also got to realize when you make these cuts so like rash and like in my thought process of not being like calculated
Right.
in a sense, you really are disadvantaging a lot of people that it benefits. So we need to also think about that, like as
100%.
we live. But hey, man, we're
100%.
gonna try to keep you in tune with our boy Trump. But
Y'all's boy.
you know, every week my good sis right here, she curates a nice little playlist.
Try. We curated it together. You send me some songs, I'll put some songs on
Facts.
there. And so this week we added a new playlist. Make sure y'all go check that out. That's also on our Instagram.
Yeah.
We also have our playlist on Apple Music. So if you are an Apple Music subscriber, which, you know, people be talking about all the time how Apple Music should be free for Apple users. Hello,
it should
Apple.
be.
It should be.
What's going on here?
But anyway, make sure you guys go and check that out. If you want to be put on to some new artists or even be on some people that you may already like and some old stuff, it's a good little vibe on there. It's a lot of R&B. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of R&B, but we do got some nice little hip hop vibes on there too. You know,
Man,
to kind of mix it up.
Trying to set the mood. You know what I'm saying? Coming out, we might with the weather changing, we might kind of spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah, we might change the vibe a little bit.
We'll see.
Hey, baby girl, let me see you do a dance. Let me see you twirl.
I still don't know.
It's gonna be a lot of that, boy. I might have to put. I already put that on one. Might have to bring it on back. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Come on now.
It's catchy.
What the function?
I like it. Go Drake.
See.
Nah, legit. Hold on. Was it about? No, it was about something else. Like one of the comments were like, "Oh, I hate guys like that." Talking about me on the TikTok.
Yeah.
Was it about Drake or something else?
It could have been about that. I don't know. They've been frying us both on
CC. Not for real.
in the comments.
Hey,
that's all right though. Keep it coming. We love it. We want all the smoke.
Hey, even when they try to restrict it, bring it on back. We want to talk about it.
We good on it. Come on.
But man, so you know there was some music drops.
Yeah. We talked about a couple of them.
Let's just start with the first one, right?
Okay.
Doechii.
Okay. I didn't listen to it.
So it's been going really big on like TikTok. I did listen to it. It's kind of catchy.
Okay.
But she recently had a interview. I saw the clip. I didn't watch the whole interview. Where she said that dating a man that is heterosexual, a straight man, is a red flag.
So she want to date bi men, or what's the deal here?
I just watched the clip. She said that straight men are a red flag.
What was her reasoning for that?
Don't know.
Okay, so we need to watch the entire clip. Send it to me. And then we can reevaluate this and come back to it next week.
I'm going to tell you right now. This is like, you know, when I say I got to listen to music, like,
yeah,
maybe I should watch the whole clip before I have my thoughts on
that part.
I'm
you getting all amped up. You getting hot right now. Niggas start sweating. Calm down.
It don't take much for me to sweat, but I'm telling you right now.
Calm down.
There's an attack on straight men. I don't like it. I'm an ally. LGBTQ plus.
Oh Lord.
Hey, that's me. Ally. You feel me? But hey, leave black men alone, man. Leave straight men alone. Like all we trying to do is live our life, watch football, go to bars.
Are they trying to do all that though? You know, it's okay. We're gonna
discuss.
We're gonna get to it in a minute. Let's talk about. So there was one more drop though, because we want to talk about.
It
was Jello featuring Glorilla.
Please shake that ass for me. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, when I first heard the little snippet a couple weeks ago, I thought it might be fire, and then I heard the record, and it's not that.
It's okay.
It's not that. I do think they're gonna still play it in the club though.
No, for sure.
And then maybe it'll ring off a little different in the club, but yeah, it ain't sitting with me. And I'm like, is my boy a one-hit wonder? You think?
I think he's a plant. I wouldn't say he's a one-hit wonder, but I would ask the question: is he a plant? Because there's a lot of different artists that they have to grind. Like, for example, Doechii, regardless of what her personal views, I didn't realize she's been out for a very long time, trying to hit.
Yeah.
For him to play basketball and then put out one song and it just catch wings the way it did, I feel like there's money being pushed behind him for literally putting out Been That Corner. What was the song called? Tweaker. To the next couple months, he's already performing at the NFC Championship, performing at All-Star.
But I think it's because I don't know that it was pushed by, because he wasn't with a record label at the time.
He was independent.
When it first came out. But I think because he's a ball brother, people run into it because of what's been planted years ago with that family, right?
So maybe it's not the plant that I think it is. It's just the fact that
there's already a foundation that was laid, right?
Facts. I can see that.
Or a seed in the soil.
So then,
that's what happens.
Hey, man. all plants are not bad plants. Just remember that. You got weeds and you have roses. So, but nonetheless, Glorilla's on that track. I think it's going to go because all of the girlies love Glorilla.
Yeah, yeah.
And she is going to be here this Thursday.
Yep.
At the Bojangles Coliseum.
Yep.
Do you know who's going? You know who's going to be here with her?
I have no idea.
I
don't plan to go.
I don't either.
Could be a little too ratchet for me.
I'm not the biggest fan, but at the same time, I do love like if I'm in the club, and if it's going up, it's going up. I love a good vibe. But if my girl played in the car, I'm like, hey, can you please turn this off?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you're a Glorilla fan, go out, see her Thursday. That's gonna be a good vibe for y'all. So, that's that. Shit, we back like 2 flats.
Yeah.
Well, man, let's go ahead. We just like went over the plug, man. Let's go ahead and dive right here into the outlet, man. Or to the outlet. This is where we discuss different views, takes, feelings, and different things happening within our society as like just young professionals working, whether entrepreneurs or you working that corporate life. Just dealing with anything like maintaining relationships, past traumas, and just anything that really just crosses our life view. So, like I said, man, we kind of went into it like earlier, but
the Dolce conversation.
The Dolce conversation, but we're going to kind of, let's talk about it. So, with Women's Month coming around, I did want to like kind of harp on some like, not even harp, but like let's discuss some like conversations, have some conversations about the transformation of the traditional woman. You looking at me like, how is he gonna say this?
Right.
I had to be very political with that.
Okay.
So like, I noticed that like with some of my friends, and like even just like certain things you see on Instagram or social media now, where there are a lot of expectations changing based off of the status, like financially, emotionally, of like women.
Okay.
Where women are making a lot. I think that women are making substantially a lot more than they have in past years.
For sure.
And you could also argue that they are in better positions than some like black men, like
in some
black
cases,
women.
Yeah, 100%.
So there becomes a place where a woman is making her own money. She doesn't need to depend on another man to like take care of her. She got her own. Is that leading to an over masculinization of women, feeling within women that could possibly be emasculating for men?
I'm going to say no. I think that men or women are wanting men to step up in other areas, and understanding that as a female, right, if I'm in a position where I can provide my own things financially, what have you, I have a greater emotional intelligence, okay? You wanting to be in my space. Yeah, so you, a man wanting to be in my space, have to understand I don't need that from you, but I need you to bring other things to the table and we can make this partnership work. And I think that's the change from years ago to now is people want more partnership, whether than it being a hierarchy of this is the man's home, the woman has to be here. Like the traditional stuff has been thrown out. Because I think a lot of men, though, still have that old traditional mindset where they want all these women to be submissive, but aren't putting them in positions to be that way. So how do you want a woman to submit to you if you aren't going to pay for everything and take care of them in the way that you see fit, right? So it's like a double standard. So you're gonna say, no, submit to me in these ways, whatever, but you're not providing anything. Okay, but then you get mad if they are making more money than you, all this other kind of stuff. So now it's an ego thing for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm listening. I think that like it's tough because like women are making substantially a lot more than they have in the past. They're able to become. There's a study that has been done where black women are buying houses at a higher rate than most like black men. So they are getting their shit together. They're doing everything. They have their stuff together.
Yeah.
And like a man is expecting, we as men are expecting to come in and like her to fall under our tutelage.
Right.
Not realizing that like now they know they do just as much as we do. I do believe at certain things where it's more of a partnership than it is a man is the head of the house leading everything. Now, I do think that most I think that there are women that want to live this independent lifestyle, but also want a traditional man.
Yeah.
But with a traditional man, you also got to understand that like you have to still have qualities of a traditional woman.
I agree.
And I think that like I tell one of my LBs all the time, I'm like, the women of like old, like our mothers, like our aunties, like I think that's done in the sense of
Why do you say that?
I think a lot of women now, or let me speak for women in the past. My mom is, you know, my mom. My mom is headstrong as can be, but she was very submissive to the man she was with for however many odd years. Where my mom made her own money, she did what she needed to do, she had her own house. But when it came to her man, she came home and submitted to her man.
She took care of him.
Took care of him. I think a lot of, I'm not gonna say a lot of women, I do think that there is a conversation that's being had now that we don't want to be that same traditional woman as, oh, we want a man that could bring just as much to the table, if not more.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that like for me, growing up, I saw my mom do things for a man. I'm like, dang, I want a woman like that. Not realizing like that woman, I'm not gonna say that it doesn't exist now.
Yeah.
But in a roundabout way, I think women are finding their worth to be more than just being a submissive stay-at-home. Like,
I agree. But I do think in finding their worth that those women still exist to a degree.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to like, what is the man going to provide as well?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to at least pick up some slack because I do think in partnerships, right, it's not always 50-50. Okay? Meaning, and I'm not just talking about like not financially either. I'm talking about just emotionally or just like how you take care of the home, deal with the kids, all these kind of things, because you can't give 100% of yourself every single day. It's just like not humanly possible, right? So I may be in a season where I can only give you 60% of me, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be able to pick up that extra slack to help provide in ways that maybe I cannot right now.
It's almost like equity over equality. But like, I will give you a little pushback. I think that in a relationship, you should both give 100%.
You can't.
I think you can't. Why?
You can't.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Every day you can't. You go through so many things like externally, like not even just what you deal with being with someone, right? So whether it be work, whether it be family, all these other things that wear on you. And so then when you get back home or you get back with your partner, you may not be working at full capacity to give 100% of yourself. And I think that's where like some people have to have a better understanding of that.
Yeah.
And I think in my past relationship, right, I think of one in particular where she didn't understand that. Like I was in the process of building a business, building clientele, working, doing all these things, and you want me to, when I get home at 8:00 at night, to cook.
That's crazy.
You want me to go and you want me to go pick up groceries, do all these things. Like when I don't have, like I feel like I didn't have time for.
Right.
You know? But could I have made better arrangements? Maybe sure. But like when you are a person that's worked from home and you have nothing but time, you're not doing anything extra, like you don't have another job, you just have one.
Yeah.
And I have three.
That's a different story.
There's a difference.
And
you know? So I think it's like picking up each other's slack and being okay with that, but having open communication to be on the same page with it.
And I think that like I agree with that. I think 100% at a given time looks different.
Yeah.
So like, for example, your 100% may be when you come home, like doing the things like maybe it's not 100%. I kind of look at it from a basketball standpoint because I think we both can understand this. Like, yeah, horrible form. But I got the pinky up. But when you think about Jordan and like Pippen, right? They were like they kind of played off of each other. Where if Jordan was having a bad night, that's what you kind of say. Like Pippen would pick up that slack. If Pippen was having a bad night, Jordan would pick up that slack. But the 100% like looked different based off of who was like who was in the zone and who wasn't. Yeah. So maybe it's not 100%, but like I guess what I'm trying to say is that in a relationship you should always give your all, the all that you can give. Yeah. You can't always.
That should be the intent.
Yeah, that should be the intent, but it shouldn't always be the expectation because at the end of the day, when you're in relationships, you go through like those periods of like you're just down, like you just kind of fucked up, and like you need your partner to like lift you up and like, don't worry, I got this, like for a time being.
Right.
But I do think that a lot of that, I think that like because like when we talk about like the like masculinity in women, but also the emasculation in like men, I think that because women are making more money, a lot of men are fearful of women that can like direct their own path.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that is the scary thing for a lot of men is like, okay, she don't need me.
But ego is a relationship killer.
Yeah, it is. And I think that like a lot of us think it from a physical standpoint. She don't need me because of my money. She's making just as much money. But I think that there is a need for the emotional support. Mm-hmm. And I think that like in my relationship now, like we had like a back and forth like last week or whatever, something like small, nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that she said to me was just like, you know, Cameron, like, I need you to be there for me emotionally. Mm-hmm. She's like, physically, you do things for me, and I appreciate that. Yeah. She's like, but she didn't say this, but in my head, it's like anybody could do something like physically. Anybody could buy me dinner. Anybody can get my car washed. Anybody can put gas in my car. Yeah, she could do that herself. She said she don't need that. Right. She said she appreciates it. She's like, but the way that you talk to me, the way that like you listen to me, like those are things that are important that like go a longer way than just you and doing things.
A part of that too is also like understanding your partner. So as you guys are, you know, going through life together or building this relationship, whatever the case may be, is understanding like their love language. So for her, all the things that you first named are acts of service. So that's not what she needs. Right. You know, for her, it's maybe more so like
words of affirmation,
quality time, different things like that, right? Right. So once you have a better understanding of that, then that's when you can support them in other ways. So it doesn't always feel like it's a financial thing or it's this, it's that. Because like you said, anybody can do those things. Hell, they can do those for themselves, right? But it takes a special person to be able to truly like listen and understand like the needs of like, all right, my partner is struggling with this right now. Let me make sure like when they come home, they don't have to worry about like certain things, or like I just listen and I don't really even give feedback. Because I think a lot of times too, and we've talked about this before, it's like our first thing is like, all right, let's find a solution. Right. They don't always want to be like that. You know, that's not how they think all the time. It's I just want to get this out, right? I just want to vent and be able to put everything on the table. I don't need you to save me. Right. I don't need a Superman or Superman. I mean,
Superman, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah. You know?
Yeah. So I want to ask you this because, like, I mean, I'm straight.
Yeah.
You don't like titles. You don't like labels.
I'm just a girl that happens.
You're just a woman that likes other women.
Right.
How does that role like play into like your relationships? I know we kind of had this discussion, but like just in emasculation and like emasculation, do you feel like there's moments? This is a weird question to ask, but I'm asking anyways. Do you feel like when you're in like, with you playing more of the masculine role, even though you're a softie, low key, you're tough, but
okay,
you like R&B.
So I'm soft because I like R&B. Come on, be for real.
All right,
y'all dudes like R&B too, so y'all soft.
I love R&B. Okay, I do have a little soft side.
Okay,
I'm like 35% Drake. Okay, maybe 45. Okay, but anywho, like in your relationship, like with another woman, like, do you feel like are there times where you feel like your woman emasculates? I don't know what the word would be for a woman, but like emasculates you. Yeah. Like you playing that more dominant role. Yeah. Masculine role. Do you feel emasculated sometimes by your woman?
Yeah.
How? Yeah. Let's talk about it. Nah, it's crazy, but like I'm serious.
But yes, because, and I think it kind of goes back to like what you were saying earlier, because now the person I'm dating, right, can do a whole lot of things just without me.
Exactly.
You know, they could do a lot. You know, they make that clear.
Right.
You know, or make that clear initially, right? And I could kind of see that and tell that anyway. But I think at times, though, it'll be, I don't know, we could be out somewhere or whatever, and I don't know, I just feel like sometimes she'll be like, all right, you want me to get it, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I got it. Like,
I got it, yeah.
Yeah. But like, don't ask me 2 and 3 times, like, I got it. If I said yes the first time, you know?
I got it,
So I feel like when that happens, because I'm like, because I go to, like, if you were dating a dude, would you ask him multiple times too? You know? But I hate that my mind goes there, though.
I ain't
But
even
it's
gonna
like,
lie to you. Like a lot of times, if I take a woman out, like if I was single or even like in a relationship, if I take a woman out, it's hardly ever a woman that's gonna say, "Oh, I got it this time."
yeah,
It's usually like that bill come out
she's waiting on
on
you.
her phone. You feel me? Like she
Yeah.
ain't thinking about it. So that is interesting that like for you, like you deal with something completely different. I mean, it makes sense why you would deal with it because like y'all both are women.
But I do think, like, I know some women though that date guys, and even when she used to date guys, like, would still take care of the bill every now and then.
Really?
Yeah.
Whew.
And not paying for everything. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's how it should be though.
Yeah.
But I think that's how it should be. But then it's like, it's almost like a situation where it's like, when you know a woman makes a good bit of money, it's like you want to. It's almost like an ego thing for me sometimes, or it has been for me in the past, where it's like I want to show her that I can do these things.
Right.
And I think that's where like the disconnect comes, where it's like, I think because things are changing, we look at certain things as like, oh, like she's trying to show me up. I don't even think it's that. It's just, I think that now women are able to carry their own weight.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I think women should be able to carry their own weight. But I do have an issue with a woman that claims herself to be independent.
Well, we can get back to that. But what I was thinking too when you were just saying that, I also feel like in this economy that we're in, it's like, if you're not making a certain amount of money, why do you think I can pay for everything anyway?
Say that one more time.
Like, I'm saying, in this economy that we're in, right?
Yeah.
Right now, things are so expensive and only going to get more expensive.
Okay.
Okay, with how Trump is doing things.
Right.
If I'm not making 6 figures or damn near close, you know, like, or maybe I shouldn't say that. Like, I don't know. It's just like, why do you think that I'm going to be paying for everything? When I still have to take care of my own home too and all my other bills, and then you want me to also take care of everything for you?
I think that's the problem I have, is that like most women want a traditional mate.
Yeah.
In untraditional times.
Yeah, it is untraditional times for sure.
And I think that like with a woman making more money, I don't think that like the respect of a man or your mate should be valued in how much they take care of you. I think
from financial
support.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I get that part, but financially, I don't think that should be a tell-all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that like when you look at now, like I think Charlotte's probably one of the more like top 5 for financially distressed. Like
that just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that came out.
Yeah.
In order to live here,
stressful.
Yeah, to live here comfortably, you got to make right at $96,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Half of us aren't making that like on a day to day.
Right.
So and then imagine like the people that move here straight out of college and have to buy a apartment that's like 14, 15.
Well, it's more than that.
Yeah, I was on the low end. You know what I mean? And that's for like a studio 1 bedroom.
Right.
And then they have a house. No, they have a car note. They have cell phone bills. They have different. Hopefully, mommy and daddy still paying for things, but that's not realistic for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you think about it from that standpoint, I have a friend right now moved up here, literally paying 16, first time like ever owning, like, well, not owning, but like renting like outside, and it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I think my first apartment like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Or a few years ago, when I was working at Wofford at the time, rent was like $800, $850.
That's love.
Right.
For like a studio or 1 bedroom.
It was a 1 bedroom, and it was very spacious. Very spacious. I was in Duncan.
I bet
right
money.
outside of Spartanburg.
Yeah, I bet money. Now that everyone, because I know a lot of people moving out there to Duncan now. I know that same spot probably costs like 12, 14.
Oh, a little bit more than that. Yeah, because it's growing tremendously on
Yeah.
there. Yeah. I just passed it the other day. I'm like, damn, it's a lot of stuff here now.
Yeah.
But I mean, and it was crazy. I was just thinking about this being home in Greenville, like all the things that are coming up there or whatever. It's very nostalgic being back because I was like walking through downtown Greenville, like Falls Park and everything. I'm like, dang, like I miss being here. But I'm like, the nightlife just isn't the same.
It's not
like,
the same.
It's just the environment isn't the same. But I'm like, the cost of living is so much cheaper. Like I got a craft mimosa thing for $12. Here, that's like $22, $25.
That's $22, $25. Yo, even the houses, like I've been wanting to buy a house up here. And I was just thinking about it from a standpoint of like, I was looking at a spot down, like literally right down the street from us.
Yeah.
2 bedroom, 1 bath, and they're trying to sell it for $270. where I could go to Greenville, like around where my mom stays. They're building brand new, like literally brand new townhomes.
Single family homes, probably
Single
like 3
family homes.
bedroom, 2.5,
300.
2.5.
300. So when you think about your money goes a longer way in those areas, but then to tie it back, it's just like, I don't, like for me, like when I talk to my uncles, when I talk to like whatever, like I have an uncle that say like they've been married, you know my uncle Ed.
Yeah.
They've been married for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
They say everything, they go 50-50. And she makes really good money.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
both do.
Yeah, they make really good money. He said we go 50-50. He said when it comes to bills, we come together, we take care of all that. She has her account, I have my account. When I want to buy Jordans or whatever, she don't say nothing.
Yeah.
She's like, but everything like from cars to this, to that, split it down the middle. I see a shift in like the reality of a lot of people are expecting the man to take care of everything.
Right.
And I even have like I have a friend guy right now. He takes care of everything in his household because he feels like in order to be a man, for her to live in her feminine energy, I have to provide financially, so that's like one less thing to worry about. But then my question is like, why is it that if you don't provide for everything financially, she can't live in her femininity just off the fact that
because you got some people still stuck in that traditional way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's like, it's a case by case scenario. So like relationship by relationship is going to look a lot different. You know what I mean? And just like do what works for you. Like I think it's having those conversations as you're dating of like, what are your expectations of me? And then telling them what your expectations of them are. You know what I mean? So like if you're moving in that way or like you decide to live together, it's like, okay, do you want to go 50-50 or do you expect for me to pay everything?
It's going to look different.
It's going to look different from person to person. So I think it's hard to say like there's an overall thing of like emasculation happening. Right. But I do think women are lowering their expectations of men.
Really? How? Let's talk about that.
No, I'm saying not in a way of like they don't expect them to like pay for certain things. It's more so like they are lowering their expectations and like they of disappointment in them and what they can and will are willing to do.
They will tolerate?
Yeah. Because it's like it's kind of like, all right, you remember that video you sent me that was like going viral? It was I think it's on in the Shade Room where it was like this video of this girl. It was just supposed to be her boyfriend, but clearly you can tell this dude is gay. But anyway, he was just like over exaggerating the fact of like men want the same things as women
being
now.
Sassy,
being zesty, being sassy, which I do think men are a little bit more zesty these days. I've already gone on record to say that. Okay, but she like bought him flowers. She like opened the door for him. She was driving the car, like doing all these things. And I do think like more women are starting to think that these men, they're kind of disappointed in like what that looks like right now because men are trying to find their value too or have found their value. And so they think like, nah, like I should, treat me like a king too. Do this, take care of me a little bit too.
It's a big thing. Growing up, it was like, because I'm going to get to that. No, let's get to the video. I feel like that video is like, bro is really zesty.
Yeah.
Men are not doing this in the
It was an over-exaggeration, but she was trying to get a point across.
I think the point was it didn't hit. I mean, maybe it hit across the demographic that it was supposed to, because one of my friend girls sent it to me after she had told me about a dude that literally like she felt like kind of handled their situation in that way. But like as she told me the situation, I'm not gonna bring it on here, but I'm like, I could see why he felt the way he felt. You know what I mean? Not saying like, oh, he's right or wrong. It's very subjective. But I do think that where a lot of women are starting to like learn their financial independency, a lot of men are becoming more aware of their feelings. And like the fact that back in the day, there was a time where we were taught happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
Where now like there is a new saying that happy spouse, happy house. Where like both people have to be happy in a relationship. Like I was taught to like literally suffer in a relationship.
Jesus.
Like in a sense of
traumatizing. Suffer.
Not like literally like
just put up with it.
We were taught like I was literally taught like to be in a relationship is to suffer. Like the woman gets danged if you want to have
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Who wants to be in a relationship and just suffer? I was taught to be in a relationship and suffer. It's crazy to me.
Most men most men do not necessarily get everything they want in a relationship.
Right.
A woman,
is that why they cheat?
A man. The reason why a man cheats is, I think, it's more physical than it is emotional. But I don't. A man could be happy and see a woman, and it could be something completely different.
No, see, that's where I think we're wrong there. I think it is part of emotional. I think it's part of what you just said.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that question, because it's a little bit of like there's something missing where, because when you think about asking married men, all right, why do you cheat? Well, I felt like my wife wasn't listening to me. She wasn't doing this for me. She wasn't understanding that I needed these things and that. So my needs weren't being met.
Yeah.
Right. So I felt like I needed to go and get that elsewhere.
And there was a time I was talking to my therapist. I could say it, but I was like talking, and she was asking me questions. I was like, when I did things, I always felt like I could just get certain things from different women. So like emotionally, like I knew this girl like literally was gonna like be good for conversations. Mm-hmm. I knew this girl was gonna be really good for like just sitting there listening to me just go on my rants.
Right.
This one I could like go like eat with, whatever. Woo. So like I could see that like where it's like you're kind of trying to build a woman like out of like multiple women. So
yeah, and I also think that's where women need to have a better understanding of where you stand with men. Does he come to you for all those things, or is he only coming to you for one thing? Ooh. And you got to understand that, because that's when you damn, I always struggle with that.
Spell it. I might be able to say it.
Differentiate between
differentiate.
Whether you the main or the side.
But this is the thing too. Like I've had a woman tell me you can't be everything to everybody.
You can't. But that's where you got to make a decision of like what you can handle and what you can't. Like there's going to be things that you always sacrifice. Relationship is always sacrifice. There's always going to be something, right? But what weighs more than the other? So understanding your values individually of what your needs are going to be. Like these are non-negotiables for me.
Right.
This is what I value in a relationship, and these are the things that I have to have. And then vice versa, understanding your partner and where they are. Because if it's not aligning and you feel like, oh, I can't give you, the first thing that comes to my mind is sex. So I can't give you, sex multiple times a week. Well, then
you might have to like, yeah.
But is there going to be other things that can, supplement that? Is there other forms of intimacy that I can feel that kind of makes up for the lack that's happening there? Who knows? But that's where you got to figure that out between you and your partner.
Yeah. But I think like when I say like you can't be everything to everybody, I do agree with that to an extent.
Okay.
But I'm very much one where it's like I'm gonna try to be, like if you
see what I'm saying?
When you what?
Spider-Man.
Not, but
Superman.
But I think this is what it is though. Like I feel like when it comes to like trying to be everything for everybody, I know that if you like are used to something that like your mother or your father may do, I can't do that. Like I'm not going to try to live up to that expectation. But what I will try to do is be the best version of myself, the way I can be. Now, if it's something that's just not in my nature, I'm not going to do it. Yeah. Like if you expect a nigga to like go out and get up under the hood and do that, that's not me.
Yeah.
I can take the car yeah. That's not me. I'm not going to try to put myself in that position. But when I say I will try to be damn near everything, if you expect a man to go out there and pay your bills for every little thing, I'm not gonna do that. That's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But if you're used to a father that literally gets under the hood and clean everything and fix everything up and do every headlight, if I can't do it, if I can do it, I'll do it. But if I can't, I will find a solution to make sure your needs are met. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where they just got to be okay with that and understanding like, all right, this is what it comes with. You know what I mean?
But I do think that like, I'm gonna ask you this question, and it's a very toxic question.
Oh Lord.
Do you believe that like it's hard to date a woman that had a really good father? And what I mean by that is that like you've had like a really good representation of, or a present father. Let me put it like that: a present father.
Something just hit me.
Talk to me
when you ask that question.
Because like a present father is better. Like a present father, regardless of if it's good or bad, you have a representation of what you think or expectation of what you think a man should be.
Yeah. Well, when I don't date men, but I will say for the women that I've dated, their relationships with their fathers have not been great or they have been non-existent. Is that why they're gay?
Not even that they're gay. Ooh.
That's also another thought that I've always had. Because
being
just being honest, growing up, me and my dad didn't get along very well.
I was about to say, y'all
because I mean, you know that because of
Yeah.
just basketball training, and he was always just mean and just do this, do that, and always yelling, and he was always working. So it's like we spent so much time with my mom, you know, but I understand what a man, you know, should look like. But there's a lot of different things there, you know what I mean? And so I think that's interesting. That's what came to my mind first is like, well, the women that I've dated, they haven't had great relationships with their fathers, so I don't know how to answer that. But I could see though it would be extremely tough for a woman that has had a great relationship with her dad to then come in as a man and have to live up to the expectations of what she's always seen and had for her, like what she saw with her mom, and then what she's like, oh, I gotta have somebody like that. I think a lot of women think that.
I've had relationships with women that like were in single parent homes, single mom homes.
Yeah.
That they're even in single parent homes, like their father was still present. Father was like in the house and father not there.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is that most women that I've dated that did not have like a father there, like they're easily impression upon. Like they don't.
That did it.
They didn't have a father. In the house.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it could be gay in your case, but like
I will say though too, I do
impression.
think I'm sure there's gay women out there that have
had both. Yeah,
have both. Yeah, but I do think that could play a part in some type of psyche for women that didn't have the dad.
Because then if you flip it on his head, like a lot of men that come from single parent mom homes, I mean, there is a higher likely chance of them being homosexual, but also, like, no, for me, like I grew up with my mom. It was just me, my mom, and my sister. It was just when I grew up around a bunch of women, so I am a bit in tune with my like emotions more than like logic. That was something I really had to push for, but like.
I also think it plays a part in the women that you
date.
Go after.
Yeah. Because all the women that I date or go after are very much strong-willed like women. I can't deal with a weak woman. It's very hard. Not to mention, like, another quality is, like, both my mom and my sister literally, like, oh, my God, they're ruthless. So, like, I have to, like, talk to a woman that understands, like, I'm not trying to be rude. It's how we talk.
Right.
I had to go tell me, like, you're mean. You're a mean person. I'm like, I'm not trying to be.
You got to learn how to communicate that.
Nah, facts.
Yeah.
But I do think that like a lot, because like I had this like conversation with somebody. I want to talk to you about it. We're going to close it here because I know like a lot of women have an issue with the men like in this era, right? Mm-hmm. Most men come from single parent. Not most. There was a point where a lot of men are coming from single parent homes, like myself. But then they're being raised by women. So who's at fault for these men being sassy and zesty?
Or not having all the qualities.
Not having all the qualities of a man.
The man should, what they think they should have.
Especially for like situations where you're pushing away the dad from being a father.
Yeah, I get it because I think it's tough because you can't really place the blame on anybody because you didn't make that choice as a son, you know, to not have your dad present, right? It's whatever the circumstances were. But I think it's hard for a woman to teach a man how to be a man, right? But that's why I think a lot of women try to put them in sports and do different things to have male figures to help them have that type of mentorship, that type of example to follow.
I agree.
In a sense.
Yeah.
You know? But I think it's hard because I think you make a good point. So I don't know what to tell these women.
I don't either.
But I think it's just you got to have better conversation around what the expectations are and what it is, and understand that men are in a different place now too, just as you are as women, and so y'all got to find some type of common ground if that's the way you're gonna swing.
I think that's how we should end that. That's great. Hey, I'm gonna say this, regardless of if you're, I'm all for whatever. Just look, there's a preference for everybody. There are some men that love a strong masculine woman, and there are some women that love a nice feminine man, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. It might be.
It is, yeah.
I've literally seen a stud. I've seen a stud that like was dating a feminine man. Like
you hadn't seen a stud. She's probably not.
It was on Facebook.
She's probably not a stud for real. All right, whatever. Okay, we're done with this. I'm not going there. You just you took it to Facebook.
Man, we don't went real deep into this, man. Let's go ahead and go off the grid, man. No, let's go ahead and unplug from the outlet and go off the grid. Man, let's go ahead and start into this sports take, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you run with this one.
Well, the Lakers have been the talk of the talk the last few weeks because they just been rolling. Number 2 in the West.
Yep.
We did take a loss last night against the Celtics. I'm not too worried about it though. LeBron got hurt though. I am sad about that. So prayers up for him. Hopefully,
you think he'll be out for a while?
He says it's gonna be day to day. We'll see how it feels. But groin injuries are pretty tough because they're just nagging injuries. Yeah. It's hard to recover for that without taking a hard pause. So
I noticed that he's had a groin injury in the last 2. That's something that's like reoccurring, isn't it?
I think he might have had one last year, yeah. But again, it's just a tough injury to kind of go away with. So we'll see what happens. And he's also been, battling with his foot and his ankle too. Yeah. So, it's next man up though. So Thanks. You gotta, y'all grown men, y'all are professionals. We gotta figure it out. But the other part is we've also had Rui out, and then Jackson Hayes was out last night too. So, at one point they had cut it at 4, and then they, Celtics opened it back up. So. Yeah. I'm cool with it. We're going to see. We just need to be, in healthy and tip-top shape by the time the playoffs start. Thanks. But in
go ahead.
Other part of this, though, earlier this week, it went viral that LeBron approached Stephen A. Smith, which it became more funny to me when I realized the game was still going on when this happened. Because I fell asleep. The game, West Coast games come on later. So I had watched the first half, and I think I watched a little bit of third quarter, but I was falling asleep. So I was like, man, let me turn this off.
Yeah.
But when I saw the clip, I'm thinking, oh, this is the end of the game, because I seen him kind of walk away a little bit, whatever.
Yeah.
No, they show another view. He was in the timeout. The timeout, they get done talking or whatever. He's sitting there. You can see him just like not even really paying attention to the timeout. Like he just thinking about like, I got to say something because if he leave right after the game, I'm going to be pissed. So he right here, he's like 3 seats down. Nah, I'm about to pop this off real quick.
Got to.
And then for him to come back into the game and cook the way he did and then win against the Knicks, which is like Stephen A's team.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So, walked up to him and said, I don't give a shit about anything you talking about, bro. Keep my son's name out your mouth. Because...
No Will Smith.
Yeah, because he, Stephen A. been talking about Bronny and just the fact that LeBron has pushed for him to be with the Lakers, pushed for him to, come to home games and play and all this kind of stuff or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, the Lakers did their job when they drafted him, right? And so... I don't think LeBron is like, oh, JJ, you got to play him. I don't think he's doing that.
Right.
And Bronny is cooking in the G League. He might be G League MVP, they're saying, possibly. But he does struggle when he comes to the NBA. But again, that's why there's a G League and there's an NBA, right? But he has to learn and make that transition. And it's just going to take time to do that. Everybody's process isn't the same. But I do feel like they just amplify Bronny so much because it is LeBron's son. Y'all ain't talking about nobody else in that G League. Y'all aren't talking about anybody else's NBA son as much as y'all talking about him.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Gary Payton the second is in the league. Y'all don't talk about him. You know what I mean? Scottie Pippen Jr.'s son was at once with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And then I think he's with the Grizzlies now.
Yeah, he's with the Grizzlies.
Yeah. And so, he had a time where he was in the G League and doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just chill on him, But Stephen A. was like, no, I'm coming at LeBron. I'm not coming at Bronny for pushing it. But it's like, mind your business.
Mind your business.
But also get the other side of it. It's Stephen A's job to do these clickbait conversations in that media space. That's also why he has a $100 million contract. It's like, who am I to say what you can and can't do, man? Who is LeBron to say what he can and can't do? And that's his job. You doing your job as a father, just as a parent.
Yeah. I will say, I'll congratulate Stephen A. Smith on that $100 million contract. Well deserved, But I will say, like, at the end of it, I think that the conversations that are being had, we have to like really highlight the fact that there hasn't ever been a second round pick that has been talked about this way ever in the NBA. And I think that's something that we gotta talk about. I think we get it. Right now, the big market teams drive the media as far as like ESPN, this, that, and the third. But like even like Charles Barkley came out and they had like a little back and forth, him and Stephen A. Smith and like ESPN.
Yeah. Or Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins, yeah. He was talking about how like there's like an agenda being pushed where you're not even talking about the OKCs, you're not talking about Cleveland, and these guys are literally on a tear.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the biggest thing is that why are we like when we're trying to position for like playoff seeding or whatever, going into March Madness, why are we focusing in on a 20-year-old kid that was the 55th pick, but even though he's like, we focus on his like downfalls, but bro literally has been killing in the G League. 21 points, 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Like literally playing a really good ball. But like rather than focusing on highlighting the good, we want to highlight the bad for ratings.
Right.
I think that's the problem that like
LeBron had.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think that like as any like parent, I think that regardless of the nepotism that happened, quote unquote, I think LeBron deserves to be. We all have our thoughts of like, oh, could he have like stayed a year? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's showing that he belongs in the G League. I think he'll develop better in the G League playing against players that are like have
on that borderline.
Yeah, on that borderline, rather than playing against like kids that are still like out of high school or coming straight out of high school or whatever.
I think that could be value in both.
Yeah.
But I just think that, in that media space, like you said, they want to talk about these big markets or whatever. But I do think it's a good story when you talk about OKC and what they've been able to do.
Thanks.
And I have seen First Take have some segments about OKC and talk about SGA and just his MVP race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think they're now trying to put LeBron into the conversation. But now with LeBron going down, I think it's going to be
go back up.
Shea. And then, of course, they want to put Jokic in there. I mean, he had a hell of a night the other night.
30, 20, and 20. I mean, you can't
Yeah, but don't
be
give
mad
that
about
man.
that.
Don't give that man an MVP. Give it to Shea. Shea deserves it.
Give it to Shea.
Shea deserves it. But then also talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I do think that it's hard for them to have those conversations when those two organizations, more specifically OKC, hasn't done anything yet.
And the small market
in
teams.
years. When they had Russ, KD, and James Harden, sure, it was a big conversation, right? Cleveland when they had LeBron. But for them to get back to where they are right now with no LeBron.
It's crazy.
In rebuilding, I think it's phenomenal. It should be talked about, but it's also like what should be the conversation is, can Donovan Mitchell show up in the playoffs? Because that dude ain't done it yet, But he got some good juju on his side with Coco Jones. Really... I'm so jealous. What Coco?
Hold on, I'm not seeing that song. But I will say, man, regardless of anything, there was a time where from Rick Brunson, he came to the bat for Jalen Brunson. Was it last year? No, earlier this year.
Yeah, I forgot who that was.
Dante DiVincenzo. Yeah,
DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came to bat for his son. So I think that either one of us.
You should turn into a parent just like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think even like Stephen A. has kind of hinted at like him and LeBron haven't been on good terms.
Yeah.
So I think this was like almost like the hay that broke the camel's back. But
it's also funny because like Stephen A. Smith looks so sad addressing it. Like my
real.
dude is hurt because he thinks he's like such a likable guy, but it's like them dudes don't really mess with you.
They really don't fool with you like that.
Yeah.
They respect you. I think they respect his craft. I think they want him to like do the things he's doing.
Sure, because he's a black man, but they don't mess with him.
I do feel like some of our black like commentators or like reporters, they really do benefit off the downfall of our black athletes.
Yeah, I hate that though.
I don't like it.
I think there needs to be a better media space to kind of talk about some like positive things,
exactly.
But then the negative stuff, like me making a comment about Donovan Mitchell just now,
right?
That's a proven fact. He got to show up.
You got to show up.
It's just like if I had the same conversation about James Harden, and I think it's just the way that they talk about it, and like for them, like the way they go about the GOAT conversation sometimes and stuff, like they just kind of move the needle of what that's supposed to be, So I just think that there could be, something, better to navigate those conversations. Yeah, but they're not gonna do it. They got to get the clicks. They got to do whatever. They got to make their money. Go ahead, get your bag, my boy. It is what it is, unfortunately.
Hopefully, we don't ever have to go to that. But if we do, just know we're going because we're fake and we're trying to get this bread.
Boop. Yikes.
No, I'm just joking. But I do have a question.
Okay.
So earlier this week, James Harden went for another 50 ball.
Yeah, I barely even knew that. It was real quiet.
Yeah, it was real quiet. But I saw it because that's my guy, left-handed assassin. I'm left-handed too.
Right, both got the beard.
Yep. Mine's not as big as yours.
Pause.
No. No pause.
Okay.
It's cute. But so came out that he not literally, but literally, like he has more 50-point games than KD and LeBron combined.
How many rings does he have though? Where is he in like total wins
not even really,
and
are we
and like?
Do you count KD rings?
I mean,
asterisk marks
because he had to join Steph in the game. But I do think that like I've just never been a big fan of how James Harden plays until like when he was with OKC. Yes, when he first got to the Rockets, yes, and then he just started doing too much dribbling for me. I don't like all that dribbling, all that dancing. You know what I mean? Like Get downhill, kick, dump, or get you a
Get to the
bucket,
free throw line.
get to your quick go-to move, knock it down.
I think he may be, arguably, there's an argument for him being one of the greatest scorers of all time.
Oh, one of.
One of.
Yeah. Okay, he's one of, sure.
Yeah.
The greatest scorer of all time is Steph Curry, though. Steph Curry's right now 36, and he's going for 50 and 40.
What's the definition of like being a scorer?
You can score. Actually, no. Let me take that back. I wouldn't say Steph Curry. I actually think it's Kevin Durant.
Juwan literally said the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's Kevin Durant. I don't know why I said Steph Curry. But Kevin Durant, because you're a 3-level scorer, meaning you can score from 3, you can score from the mid-range, you can score at the rim. At ease. And Kevin Durant does that at ease. I think Steph Curry is a great 2-level scorer. You don't see him as much at the second level. Every now and then with floaters and stuff like that, but he's just smaller, so he can't really get to the pull-up like that.
Right.
But I want to say, is him and James Harden around the same?
James Harden like 6'5", 6'6".
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Well, I think James Harden can get to that mid-range pretty easily, too. He'll navigate around the kill spots, which is what I deem like the elbows and short corners and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, like, he's a smooth scorer, KD. But I do think, now, y'all bear with me right here. Bear with me for a second. Let me put you on game. My boy, SGA, that's a smooth mother. Shut your mouth. Because he coming for that all-time score conversation. Because that is a 3-level scorer, too. And the pace and poise that he plays with, his game is so deceptive to defenders that it's just so hard to guard. He does a great job. He's a smaller
guard that can get angled. Like, he
knows his angles. He knows how to get to his spots on the floor.
He's solid.
And he does such a great job with deceleration to finish around the rim.
Yeah.
And using his body and stuff like that to hang finish. Like, he is a tough guard.
He is.
You know?
I can see
he's
that.
So tough to defend because he can get you in a number of ways. And he's just so smooth. Like I said, just his fakes and his pace and his, the hezzies. It's tough, man.
I ain't even gonna lie. When I think of scorers, I gotta think of James Harden. But when you bring up KD, I think that's a really good argument. I think
some would say Carmelo, but I'm not.
I was about to say Melo.
Carmelo didn't shoot a 3 as much though.
He did.
What was he?
In New York, he was crazy with the 3. He wasn't like Steph Curry.
Oh, that's why he came with this. That's right. Yeah. I also never been
You never been a Melo fan.
Unpopular opinion, never been a huge Melo fan either.
Melo, I wasn't a big Melo fan because it was always that Melo versus LeBron.
Yeah.
But now that he's retired, like I do respect, like I really respect like the way he played his game.
Well, I've always respected like his game. I just felt like he didn't. Like I would have loved to see him be more competitor on the defensive end. Like nothing on defense for him really stands out to me. And I just feel like, and nothing like with him finishing at the rim like that really stands out to me either.
Yeah.
I'm thinking him more of like a mid-range assassin for sure.
He definitely was mid-range at 3.
As he got older in his career, taking more threes and stuff like that. Yeah. But, yeah, I'm taking KD on that. KD and Shea. Give me them 2.
Nah, I got to tell you James Harden. James Harden's tear was, like, insane. Now, there was never a point in time where KD had, like,
he takes a higher volume amount of shots.
Oh, for shit, sure.
I like efficiency.
But also, like, there was never a point in time where I think KD was very efficient, and he was an assassin in his own right, the Slim Reaper. Yeah. But I always say, man, like, the question I always ask myself, if KD had a team by himself where he didn't have a ball-dominant guy with him, how many points he would have averaged? Because there was never a point in time where he just had a team, like, solely to himself. Like, when he played with OKC, he had a ball-dominant Russ, and he had James Harden for a little bit. When he went to the Warriors.
Steph, Clay.
Yeah. Then when he went to Brooklyn, he had Kyrie.
For a little bit, James.
Yeah, and James. And then now that he's in
Phoenix, he has Devin Booker.
And Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal ain't done nothing since he left the Wizards.
Yeah.
But
so I always say, like, he's never been the, like, main guy where he's had to come down and get 50 every single time. So
yeah, but, I mean, if he wanted to, he could.
He could, yeah, for sure.
So I don't think – I mean, I get your argument, but I do think, like, if he wanted to, he really could and would.
I had somebody tell me today that LeBron is probably the greatest scorer of all time.
I mean, he has 50,000 points. Let me just say, congrats to him, my boy LBJ,
respect.
for getting 50,000 points because Steph Curry just got 25,000 yesterday. That sounds insane.
That's insane.
That sounds insane.
Like, granted, 09, 08?
Granted, LeBron's been in the league a couple of years longer, but, like, will we ever see that again? A dude getting 50,000 points?
I think so.
You got to be in the league as long as LeBron averaging.
20 years.
Like, he's 40 years old, averaging what he did in his last MVP season.
But the amount of people that shoot threes now, I think it's going to be. I think they'll get it like within like 15 years seasons.
No, because you got to understand, he went to the finals Like
you're talking
all
about
those,
like all of those,
yeah, because it's playoffs in regular season. Like that's extremely hard. You're playing until into June. Everybody's not doing that.
That's gonna be tough.
That's phenomenal.
Probably not.
Shout out to the king, man.
Yeah, shout out to him. But man, I think that was a really good discussion about scores. I think there's a lot of really good scores in this generation. I'm not sure how the next one's gonna look. You got Tatum. You know, you got a couple guys, but I don't know if they're gonna look like this generation.
Tatum, Shea.
I didn't realize how young Shea was. Shea's young.
Yeah, Shea cold now.
Yeah, he cold.
Shea cold. Luka. Gotta throw Luka in there.
Luka's a dog.
Trae Young. He's a scorer.
I wish
Jalen Brunson's a scorer.
Jalen Brunson, he's a bruiser.
Yeah.
Is Ja a scorer?
No. Ja's not a scorer to me. I think Anthony Edwards could get there because his three is coming along. Like before, he was kind of just mid range and.
You know who's a bucket? Paulo Banchero's a bucket.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a scorer.
Bucket.
His game, he got a little bit of LeBron in him, and he got a little bit of like Paul George a little bit.
That.
You know.
Yo, Paul George, man, RIP to this season, man. Just sit out.
Yeah.
Come back
He should have been one of the ones that would be in the conversations of a scorer too. You know. But yeah, man. Let's talk about some women's basketball.
We talk about a lot of let's get into this women's
basketball.
So
today is Championship Sunday, where there's a lot of big matchups today in the conference tournaments for women's basketball. Let's start with my favorite, the SEC, which is the best conference in women's basketball. I argue with your mama. But that game's at 3 o'clock today.
Because she's a USC fan.
Yeah, South Carolina all day long, baby. You know what it is. Going against Texas, so they split during the year, and then it went down to a coin toss to know who will be the number one seed in the tournament. And South Carolina won that coin toss, Jesus. And Texas was really pissy about that.
You said coin toss or coin toss?
Coin.
Sound like you said corn. Yeah, you know I had somebody tell me
country.
Somebody was like, Sierra's so country.
Yeah, people tell me that all the time. Listen, people, I get it. All right, I'm from Columbia, a little bit outside of Columbia. Y'all wouldn't even know the town if I told you. And then I moved to Greenville, South Carolina. So Greenville and like Simpsonville area. So it's in me. It's in me. But anyway, South Carolina versus Texas today. Hopefully, South Carolina takes it home. I was at the games yesterday. Very cool environment at Bon Secure in Greenville. Mm-hmm. It was hella people there. It was some WNBA players in the building too.
Who was down there?
What WNBA players?
WNBA players.
Jasmine Thomas, who used to play for the Mystics and the Sun.
Teach me. Didn't know.
And the name escapes me of the other lady right now. But Courtney Parrish was in the building as well. Obviously, Simone Augustus, she's an assistant for LSU. But It was a lot of people in the building. It was packed, and the energy was electric, and I know it's going to be the same today. So looking forward to that. Her agent's actually going to be there today,
really?
So we're missing that, yeah. So that game will be great. And then we have NC State and Duke.
They're playing right
which
now.
Duke knocked off Notre Dame. Notre
Seen
Dame
that.
lost again.
Oh,
come on, Noel!
Come on, dog.
Get the girls back on track. At one point, we thought them girls were going to win a national championship. They're taking a skid. This is where the coaching really has to come back into play. They got to bounce back.
No, fact.
They got another season. To me, you break basketball down into 3 seasons.
How so?
Regular season, tournament season,
then
March Madness. So they got another season right here. What y'all gonna do with it? Y'all got to get back on track. They got to find a way. Let's see what you're gonna do, Noel. Ivy, we believe in you. We believe in you, sis.
Need y'all to lock in, man.
But anyway, NC State versus Duke. NC State should win that game. We'll see though. They've been playing a lot better as of late. Yeah. But Notre Dame losing is gonna mess up their seeding in the tournament. So and some other people have emerged, which will help their seeding. So I think like NC State, for example. Yep. They could have been on a 2-3. They're probably gonna get a 2 seed now, which is very important when you're trying to host the tournament at your place the first 2 rounds. Right. Yeah. So and I think South Carolina solidified their number 1 seed. They were on the bubble a little bit for 1 or 2, which was nuts to me when they played the toughest schedule. Boy. Neither here nor there.
Boy.
And then we also have a rematch of Southern Cal and UCLA. Now
that's gonna be good.
Southern Cal has got the better of UCLA the last 2 meetings. Right. But as we always say, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
It's hard to beat a team twice. Yeah, 3 times.
Bingo. And so this shall be interesting. And shout out to Juju because the girl just been on the tear lately, hooping. Moves to number 9 all time in scoring in Southern Cal history as a sophomore.
As a sophomore.
Season's not even done yet.
Crazy.
Killer.
More 30-point games than.
Say it with your chest. Then who?
Then my GOAT, Caitlin Clark.
Then my GOAT as well.
I might switch Juju. Hey, Juju, I really do feel like Juju should be getting just as much notoriety as Caitlin Clark did.
Bingo. Stephen A. just talked about that earlier this week on First Take.
Yeah, I think that there is. We're gonna have to start highlighting some of these ballers. Exactly. Juju is literally killing the game right now.
They don't want to let the Black Queen shine, but we know what it is. Juju is that girl.
And she's playing against
best player in the country.
Really good competition.
No doubt about it.
It ain't like she's just playing like some teams out like in FCS. Like she's playing like good teams. So
exactly, and she's hooping.
Got to give her some
night
respect.
in, night out. She's got that killer mentality.
Nah, facts.
And I think if she can just continue to build the consistency of that mentality, she gonna be one of the greatest we've ever seen.
You think she could leave after her junior year? Go ahead and hit the league?
She could. Now, will she? I don't know, because she's getting paid.
Do you really need a degree? Like, I mean, she's going to get paid regardless.
Yes, you want that degree.
You can always go back and get a degree.
You could, but I think she's going to stay.
Okay.
We'll see, though. I think it depends on whether they win national championships or not.
Fair.
'Cause I think she wants to bring that to her hometown.
Respect.
Then the last matchup of the day is TCU and Baylor, which is also a rematch of the regular season title game. Just a couple weeks ago, they went into a battle to the very, very end, and TCU got the better of Baylor in that game. So looking forward to seeing that matchup. Also, make sure y'all tune in, man. Make sure y'all plug in. Obviously, there's some other tournament championship games, but those are the biggest for today, and they'll be on ESPN, CBS, all those type of networks and stuff like that. So make sure you guys check those out and get ready for March Madness, because depending on how some of these games shake out, seeding implications will be in play.
When does March Madness start?
It's starting about a week and a half-ish.
So next week we need to go ahead and do a bracket.
Yeah, when the brackets come out, for sure.
When they come out.
For sure. Yeah. So looking forward to that. And to stay with women's basketball, Unrivaled is getting closer to the end of their season, where they're now getting ready for playoffs. And so the Owls, hoo-dee-hoo, still number one, holding it down, have only lost one game.
PMP,
but I will say it's gonna be tough, man. I think Rose is on a rise. They finished number 2 when they were at the bottom of the league at one point. The Laces, Jackie Young was cooking last night.
Yeah.
I always thought the Laces would be kind of that top tier up there. So now that they're getting everybody healthy, they got everybody back, I think they might make some noise. And then you got to watch out for Vinyl as well.
Yeah. I did watch that first game the Laces played on Friday. That was a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
It was real slow in the first half, but they picked it up.
So looking forward to seeing how that shakes out. So if you had to pick a winner right now, who would it be in Unrivaled? Who's going to win the whole thing?
You know what's crazy? I didn't like them at first, but if they're able to get into the playoffs, I'm picking the Roses.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm
staying with the Owls.
Huh?
I'm staying with the Owls.
Owls?
They've been running this jump. And I think it's hard to sustain that, but at the same time, they're so dominant, and I think they just get in people's heads because of how surgical they are on the floor. And it's that killer instinct that Skylar Diggins has, that Fee has, and everybody else is just taking that. Like, Fee is like, this is my shit. Yeah. Like, she's talking down.
I'm trying to go with the underdog right now. I think
I wouldn't be surprised. They've been cooking. They've been
cooking.
And the chemistry that's being built between Chelsea Gray and Angel Reese.
It looks different.
Something to be studied.
Hey, it might be a trade on the horizon.
Hell no.
Go ahead, send her.
She's staying with the Aces, boy. She know better. Be for real.
No,
be for real.
She might go to.
We win championships over here.
Y'all might get her the Aces. Imagine Aces.
No, we don't want that.
Angel.
We don't want that. I'm good on that, my boy.
With the money too.
I'm good on that.
I might make some money.
I'm good on that.
Nah, but I love the chemistry. I love the way they're playing. I love, regardless of how I feel about my GOAT. Angel Reese is a really good competitor. She plays hard.
And she's continuing to get better in the league.
And she's getting better. I saw her. She did her podcast with
Dejanay Carrington.
No. Well, that one too. But Lisa Leslie.
Oh yeah.
Lisa Leslie was talking to her about trying to get her those working
her
on her layups, her touching.
Stuff.
So I think after this season, I think she's really gonna go crazy in the paint, trying to work on her game. So I have faith in her. Dejanay though, oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
Love her.
Right. She been getting cooked on social media here though lately.
Not for real.
Because she said that she don't really like girls. She's like Malaysia, but she ain't met me. Just
I
kidding.
don't have time for this shit. Hey,
DJ ain't bad though, for real.
DJ, she's a cold mom. Shut your mouth.
Right.
I love her.
Me too.
We could be friends. I'm gonna follow her on Instagram. See if she follow me back.
Been doing that.
For real?
For sure. Come
Yeah,
on.
I need that.
I love her.
I love that.
Yeah.
But can we talk about football just a little bit? Just
Sure.
give me 10 seconds.
Go ahead, 10
30
seconds.
Hey, there's been some really big moves. Myles Garrett might be staying with the Browns.
No, he is. He's getting $40 million a year.
40 mil?
He not going
hey,
nowhere.
Stop playing with him. Hey, they might be getting a quarterback. We do got to talk about, all right, let's talk about these moves real quick. Debo to Washington for a 5th-round pick. That's crazy.
I'm not mad at that. That might be all right. We'll see.
Yeah.
Debo got to get in shape. He got to get right. We'll see. Hopefully this can resurge him. Because I like to cheer for my South Carolina people.
South Carolina.
Come on, man.
Oh, then you got Geno Smith to
The
Seahawks.
Raiders.
Yeah, no, to the Raiders.
To the Raiders, yeah.
For a 3rd-round pick.
Yep.
Him, like, working with Pete Carroll back in the Seahawks days. I think he's going to be all right.
Max Crosby was happy to see a new quarterback, and he just got a new contract as well. So let's see what the Raiders going to do.
Yo, we're going to have to – one day we're going to have a discussion because they're really trying to play with Shedeur. They're trying to play with Shedeur face.
Yeah.
That's not good.
We're going to talk about that before the draft happens.
Yeah, you pissing me off.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody
all I want to talk about.
It's because they scared of a young black man who's confident in himself and carries himself in the way that he does. They hadn't seen it. They used to just like the dudes just trying to, appease the people.
Exactly.
Nah, man.
I think there's
Shedeur is who he is. He done made that abundantly clear.
Really quick, I think there's a ploy that.
Funky.
Excuse me. There is a ploy that I think is happening where whatever NFL coach said that, they're purposely trying to drop his market down so that they could get him with a later pick.
Yeah.
Because there are some teams that really need a quarterback. And I don't know if Shedeur should start off the rip. But if he has a year to sit behind, like, for example, if the Raiders are able to get him with because they have the 6th pick, but if they're able to jump back in, like, later rounds of the 1st round, the later ladder of the 1st round, and pick up their quarterback of the future, you know that, listen to me, conspiracy, Tom Brady is trying to buy the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, I know. And he loves Shedeur.
That's his mentor.
Yeah, he loves.
That's who he works with. So, just mark my words. All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I know we said we were going to do it.
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
My fingers are itching for that paper.
I'm with it. All right, so before we wrap up here, though, we got to talk about Paradise. Paradise season finale aired earlier this week on Hulu. If you guys still have not watched Paradise, what are you doing?
Watch it.
You're missing the best
you gotta watch
television.
I promise you gotta watch it.
Or best series on television right now.
This is going to be the best show of 2025.
It already is. I'm already saying it, man. It's only March, but it's phenomenal. Sterling K. Brown.
He better win it.
You're a king, man.
He better win something.
Oh my gosh, please. Give him
Oscars
all the awards. Give him all the awards. I don't know what the TV awards are.
It's not even close.
It's not. Come
It's
on.
not close.
Come on. Be for real.
Any biopics that you try to do, it's not even close.
It's
not close.
But let's talk about what you thought of this season in its entirety. Or do you want to talk about just episode 8 first and then talk about the season in its entirety?
All right, let's start with the season.
Okay.
So, first episode starts off with a bang, right? With Kyle getting killed or whatever, and them trying to figure things out. I think that the whole time it had you thinking that there could be a lot of different people.
Right.
I think that it was a really like a slow burn, but not like a slow burn where it was just boring the whole way through. Now, there were some people that died. There was one person. Yeah, he shouldn't have. I feel like they could have kept him for another season. But
I would have loved to keep Billy.
Yeah, Billy was cool. But I love how, what was the girl name? The assassin?
Jane.
Literally plain Jane.
Listen.
Literally plain Jane.
You better get her that damn weed next time she asks.
Hey, and for it to end, and she's literally playing the Wii as everyone's just.
Yeah.
But I love the show. I love how Sinatra was literally that cowardly, smart, calculated killer that literally was. I feel like the thing I love about this show is that everybody had valid reasonings for why they did what they did. Even though I felt like I didn't like Sinatra.
Right. Couldn't stand her.
It couldn't stand her, but I also understand that she was at the forefront of understanding something's coming.
Right.
And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to protect my family.
Yeah, that's what it came down to for her, protecting her family. I want to start by saying this.
Talk to me.
The show being written by This Is Us writers and producers and stuff like that made this show phenomenal. Because for people that watch This Is Us and the storytelling that went behind that show with the flashbacks that it would have,
Yep.
Randomly starting the show on one particular character that had nothing to do with the show, you thought just yet, and then being able to tie it in later, plays into what eventually happened on this series.
Yeah.
Okay, because it was little bits and pieces of things that you saw, right, that showed you who the killer was. You know, in plain sight.
It did.
Just for it to come out in the end, and you're like, what the heck? But all answers were all questions were answered in the last episode.
They were.
Right? Which you love that, because a lot of times they'll leave you still with more questions. And it did, but a whole range of new questions going into season 2. So this is how you know, like, it's a phenomenal show, because like you said, like, each episode tied into one another so well, and it told a great story. You got to see the background of each individual person and understand how they got to this point, why, like you said, why certain decisions were being made, and just make you think, okay, well, maybe it was this person, maybe this person, or what would you have done in this scenario? And it just all felt so real.
Right.
You know, you could see these things just playing out, you know, piece by piece, and then for it to all come together at the end in the way that it happened. And then
insane.
And then for it to end with, I always want to say Randall because that's who he was and This Is Us, but for Xavier to get on a plane and go fly it to go back
Atlanta.
out to those coordinates,
Yeah.
when in the story he's talking with his dad, who's a pilot who always wanted him to fly and knew he would be a great pilot.
Oh my God.
So he's piloting this whole ploy of, like, I gotta go save these people, and then also being a pilot to go and get them.
It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's phenomenal.
Amazing. I will say this though, what pissed me off,
phenomenal.
What did piss me off is the fact that the librarian being the killer, it makes sense, but bro should have never been able to make it out alive.
Well, he killed himself, so.
No, I'm saying, like, when he tried to shoot the president the first time.
Oh yeah.
I feel like at that point.
Yeah, how you get him out? Yeah. Well, I mean, when the world was in it, all the inmates were
I thought they would have killed him, like, right then and there.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he died. Like, they shot him down.
Yeah.
They didn't.
You would think if he tried to assassinate the president, but I mean, he didn't kill him though.
Right.
So then.
Yeah. And then the other part is, like, on Cal, the president, last day, he had the shittiest last day of his life. Literally, he's doing everything he can to, like, help Xavier find his wife.
Yep.
Finding coordinates.
Do something for his son.
Yeah, doing the playlist for his son. It was almost as if it was like almost telling that, all right, let me get all of my stuff in order so that I can, like, make sure I leave certain things for people.
Yeah, because he knew people would be after him.
Yeah.
Because the truth was going to come out. And so he was going to make sure that, and that's what he was telling Sinatra at one point. Hey, the truth's going to come out, you know, and so here we are.
I'm glad that he did press the blue button.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Even though it reset the world back.
Yeah, but give people a chance, man.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Regardless of how people felt about him, man, I really felt like he probably played the most important role in this show.
He did. And I think, you know, them picking him to play that part, he's a great actor too.
He was great, yeah.
He was phenomenal too. I think they did a great job with the casting in the show, which again doesn't surprise me because of the people that are behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so shout out to them, man. And shout out to it being a black man leading a show and so many people being supportive of it and talking about it and just it being one of the biggest shows on Hulu to date. So shout out to them, man.
I can't wait for season 2. I'm kind of glad that I waited to watch it. Because then I didn't have to wait. You know, I feel like if I had to watch it when it first came out for season, like episode 1, I would have been anxious and had no patience, like, going through.
Right.
So I was able to watch the first, like, 5 or 6 before, like, it got to 7 and 8.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
But I can't wait for season 2. That was probably one of the better shows I've ever seen.
Well, they're about to start filming in a couple weeks, so I can't wait.
I really wish that, like, we, like, this kind of ingenuity in our movies and shows. And this is I identify this as a black show because the lead is black.
Because the lead is black?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take it as a black show. There's a lot of vanilla in there, but we'll take it as black.
There's a lot of vanilla. Everybody's represented, but the lead is black, so we'll take it. We'll take it. We're taking that one. Yellowstone, Move Aside. That's my favorite.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yay! Welcome to the good side, Cameron. Hey, on that note, y'all, we appreciate y'all plugging in with us today.
Yeah, yep.
Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Make sure you guys go follow, like, and subscribe. We are on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, playlist on Apple Music. Go run it all up, all right? Even if you're not following and liking and subscribing, but you watching, that's crazy about you. Don't be fake. Don't be fake.
How many?
Come plug in with the gang. Come plug in with the gang.
Remove 8 of my fingers, and you'll see the 2 fingers I'm holding up. If you're not watching this, subscribing, clicking, sharing, reposting. Hey, and don't talk to me about this podcast if you ain't watching and resharing it, man. Support
and you're not following. Support.
God damn.
Yeah.
Tired of y'all.
Come on now.
And we've been getting a lot of traction on Instagram though.
Yeah.
No, not Instagram, but TikTok.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Hey, we're almost at 100. We're almost at 100 followers, man. Lock in.
Let's go.
Hey, thank you,
Plug
Gerald.
in. We're almost at 100 on both. Hey, yeah, man. Shout out to Gerald too, producer for the show. We appreciate you, my brother.
Shout him out early in the pod though.
Yeah.
He should get love.
Yeah, my fault. Our fault.
Our fault.
Our fault. Hey, we appreciate you, G. Hey, man, y'all have a great week. Thank you for tuning in. Plug!